Well, hello there, Space Monkeys. Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden. And in this episode, we're going to do some PFC updates real quickly to start off, and then we're going to talk about the news of the last 2 days, which I think is some of the scariest news I've ever seen in my life. It's what's going on in Ukraine with Zelensky taking down a whole bunch of opposition parties, basically taking out any type of left-wing opposition parties and people in their parliament who are in opposition to what he's doing with his fascist buddies, and them basically also creating a state media conglomerate, which is, this is how fascism happens, guys. I don't know what else to tell you, and those are the people we're backing up. So it's a very scary time right now. I think we're going to see something possibly similar in the United States. I don't think it'll be quite this brash, but it'll be like a slow, creeping fascism that does the same thing that Zelensky's doing. We'll just have to see how that goes. Anyway, let's do some shout-outs real quickly. Hardlens Media just got banned off of YouTube like 10 minutes ago. Bullshit, again, for talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story. I told you guys, man, that's one of those stories that I screamed it as loud as I possibly could on the General Strike Summit and tried to go viral on purpose because I knew that that was being suppressed for a reason and nobody was talking about it. So I was right. Hardlens Media talked about it, and now they're banned. They got another strike. And they're like me. They do good work, and they speak the truth, so they get plenty of strikes and get banned all the time, and they have a huge problem with the algorithm. So go out there and sub to Hardlens Media right now. They're at 39,700. I want them over 40,000. Let's get them over 40,000 while they're banned, and let's scream bloody murder about their banishment because it's absolute bullshit. The Hunter Biden story needed to be talked about. That's why I talked about it. And that's why I get banned all the time, too. So the censorship apocalypse continues. I also want to point out, guys, very cool, Chris Hedges now has his own Substack. Go check that out. Immediately sub to it. I saw that on Twitter. I was like, yes, please. So he's already started writing on there. As with any Substack, you can pay for it and get all of his content, or he'll leave some stuff free. He already has his initial article is free. So check it out. It's definitely worth a read. I love all these people starting up their own Substacks. That makes me very happy. And as you know, he just lost his show from RT on Contact. So this is his new thing. I don't know if he'll be doing any other shows again. I hope he does. But go check out Chris Hedges' Substack as well. And then this is bad news, but it's a little bit funny to me. I'm actually going to defend Kyle Kalinske. He's also banned on Twitter right now. Oh, no. And believe it or not, I don't want him to be banned. I'm against this. I'm a free speech absolutist. And apparently he got banned. His girlfriend came on and was like, that's Crystal Ball for... if you guys don't know. She went on her Twitter account and was like, this is bullshit. Kyle got banned because he showed a GIF file of an exploding head, and it was obviously a fake exploding head, but they got him for like egregious violence or gore or whatever. Yeah, that's dumb. I actually agree with Crystal. I agree with Kyle. Give Kyle his dumbass Twitter account back, for God's sakes. How the hell else are we going to see these important conversations had between Kalinske and David Dole on whether or not we should shower in the morning versus the evening, or whether or not it's important if you're a morning versus an evening person? I mean, let them have their conversations. It's not like he said the word cracker or anything. Anyway, let's get down to business here. I'm going to read to you from antiwar.com exactly about what is happening with Zelensky right now. And like I said, guys, this isn't even really like creeping fascism. This is overt fascism. And I said in a couple of videos on Rockfin that Zelensky's basically surrounded in the higher-ups in like the police force and people around him that are close to him in his, not necessarily in his cabinet, but around him and advising him and donating to him are literal Nazis. So I got dragged a little bit for that, and people always do that. But I want you guys to understand that the neoliberal establishment and the Biden administration is 100% backing up what is a largely Nazi-influenced military, police force, and, cabinet of Zelensky's. So I'm going to read to you also later, two of Alexander Rubinstein's awesome new articles. That'll be a Rockfin exclusive. He's done one for Mint Press News with Max Blumenthal that came out there early March, and then he's got one that just came out yesterday from the Gray Zone that are amazing, talking about Zelensky and the Azov Battalion. You're going to want to tune in. So let's read to you here from antiwar.com. Remember that This is the people that all of the shitlibs are telling you to fall in love with and who are literally swooning and drooling over. Zelensky bans political opposition, nationalizes media to create a quote-unquote unified information. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky banned 11 opposition political parties and nationalized media. Any activities supporting the parties labeled quote-unquote pro-Russian are now illegal. Axios reports the list of parties now banned include the Platform for Life, Shari Party, Nashi, Opposition Bloc, Left Opposition, the Union of Left Forces, State, Progressive Socialist Party of Ukraine, Socialist Party of Ukraine, Socialist Party, and Volodymyr Saldo Bloc. Platform for Life is Ukraine's largest opposition party and currently holds 44 seats in parliament. Last year, the party's leader, Viktor Medvedchuk, was accused of treason and placed under house arrest. And we're going to talk more about him later. He has had a hell of a time going up against the Azov Battalion and the Nazis. They've done horrible things and have been trying to intimidate him a lot. We'll talk about him more later in a different episode on Rockfin. Another targeted party, Nashi, is led by Yevhen Murayev. The UK previously accused Murayev of working with Moscow to overthrow the Ukrainian government. However, Murayev was sanctioned by Russia in 2018. Ukraine's Russian minority has faced increased discrimination since the 2014 coup. The opposition parties largely represent the 17% of the Ukrainian people who are ethnic Russians. Language and cultural laws have targeted Russian movies, including one starring Zelensky. The new presidential order is a part of Zelensky's effort to create a unified political narrative in Ukraine. He has announced an information policy that combines, quote, all national TV channels into a single information platform of strategic communication, end quote. That's just state media. That's just him saying straight out, we're not going to have any opposing viewpoints. We're giving you state media propaganda and you'll like it. So if this doesn't scare people, I don't know what will. And it just goes to show you again, when I was talking about the neoliberals and Joe Biden being fascists, I wasn't really being facetious. We back up fascists all the time. This is evidence that, what we're backing up in Ukraine, the people that we're literally funding to the tune of billions of dollars. I believe Joe Biden just signed them over $800 million in like a day. And then there was like a bill that is going to pass, if it hasn't passed already, that's for $13.6 billion in aid to Ukraine, half of which is for the military. Billions of dollars being sent to these people. And this is, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's scary, but also because I want you guys to recognize when and if, likely when, this starts to happen in the United States. Because we're right on the verge of this as well. We're being governed by these people who are, they're neoliberals, but they don't mind like buddying up with Nazis. Joe Biden's a racist, white supremacist sack of shit, and he's a corporatist, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Democrats in the establishment in this country start to lose the narrative that they also try to do something like this, and we're in the middle of the censorship apocalypse as it is right now. And if it continues to get worse and worse and worse, we're like the frog in the pot with the heat getting turned up slowly underneath. They'll just ban a few more per week this week than they did last week, and a few more per week next week than they did this week. And then they'll further promote all of the propaganda and further unify the mainstream media channels. And you've already seen this too. You see the same talking points over and over, the same buzzwords over and over. Pro-Russian disinformation, Putin puppet, all of these echoing colloquialisms that are basically like buzzwords that are spreading throughout the mainstream media apparatus to demonize people with opposing viewpoints or that are anti-war. Then suddenly, 4 or 5 months from now, they've achieved exactly the same thing that Zelensky's just doing in, one fell swoop. Suddenly we basically have a, well-trained, robotic propaganda apparatus that gets its rules and its talking points from up on high, and that's Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, TYT, and some of the other, boutique lefties who are obviously sold out at this point, with one unified voice beating the war drums. And then the next thing we know, all the rest of us who have an opposing viewpoint and don't want to go to war are being censored off the map slowly. So it's happening before our eyes in slow motion in the United States as well. And I want you guys to do what we've been doing, but we got to push really hard. Promote your journalists, protect your journalists, protect your channels that you get your information from that are doing good work. That's all I do on this channel, and I wish I had a bigger audience to do so, but they're never going to let me get big because that's exactly what I do, is I'll connect you to people that are doing good work and promote them constantly. And if anybody propagandizes us or attacks us or tries to beat the war drums, I will go out and attack them. So that's why they won't let me get big. But, I'm going to showcase another couple of journalists who are doing great work over the weekend. You guys should keep promoting these people. Promote whoever you get your information from. Fight the censorship apocalypse. We can do this. And if we don't do it, we're going to end up like Ukraine right now. So it's very scary. We're in the middle of, a new Cold War, new McCarthyite era. It's worse than it ever was, I would say. With the amount of people there are that are buying into the mainstream media narrative of demonizing everybody who is anti-war as a Putin puppet, I would say that what Joe McCarthy did back in the day is nothing compared to what we're getting now. Now you've got millions of shitlib robots online that are basically like unified in their Russiagating and their McCarthyism. It's beyond crazy. And it's only going to get worse because there are a lot of, relatively well-off shitlibs and neocons in this country who can't allow their narrative to be hijacked by us. They will fight tooth and nail to censor everybody that has anti-war rhetoric and to promote anybody who's doing the beating of the war drums. So, anyway, like I said, guys, go check out Chris Hedges. His new Substack is great. Let's raise some hell for Hardlens Media, get them put back up on YouTube, because they're only talking about the Hunter Biden story was what they got flagged for. That got censored, the New York Post article by them, or by the New York Post about Hunter Biden's emails, that got censored from the face of the internet. You couldn't share it. It was completely killed by the algorithm on Facebook, but you couldn't even share it on Twitter. Reporting on that, and now that we know that the New York Times confirmed that those emails were legit, should not be grounds for getting you a strike. And what they said is that they were questioning the outcome of the election. No, they weren't. They were saying that the Democratic Party and the establishment killed that story to help sway the results of the election. Because there's no other reason why you would kill that story 2 weeks before an election. It is tongue-in-cheek election meddling. So, I might get banned just for saying that. But, there's a reason that got taken down 2 weeks before the Biden-Trump election. It's because it would negatively affect Joe Biden, and it was not, in fact, Russian disinformation. If it was Russian disinformation, then you guys need to ban the New York Times, because even they're admitting it now. And, just, protect your journalists. I'm going to be doing that with a couple of journalists this weekend. Do your best, guys. Keep fighting that good fight. I love you. Talk to you later.